All right. Sounds like we got a recording. So week 13, it is towards the end of April. So we are quickly wrapping up the semester, and the good news is we are in good shape in terms of time. I am going to finish up the game requirements today. You don't have to finish your game this week, but I'll have given you everything you need to complete the assignment in all the recordings that I've posted in the recording, the live meeting link in Canvas, in kind of like reverse chronological order. So this one will be at the top, and then the one last week will be beneath it. So you've learned how to install Unity, install the Unity Hub. We're using 2022.3.51 or 52. You learned how to add, to use my zipped up starter file that has everything you need, including the terrain tools, the flooded grounds, prefabs, the brushes, the terrain textures, and all that. So you learned how to create terrains. You created one with mountains and valleys and rivers and valleys and plains. You learned how to texture it, add trees. You added bushes and grass. Then you added a wall, a four-walled compound, created a four-walled compound. And inside that compound, you put in a town. Outside of it, you put in some barns and some other structures, a lighthouse, a railroad bridge. And last week, you learned how to create prefabs. Let me share the screen with you. So these are the prefabs. You basically learned how to assemble them and organize your hierarchy over here so that they're all kind of nice and neat. You created an empty called town, and you put all of your town elements in there. Inside the town were your barns. And remember, if you double click on an item in the hierarchy, it shows it over to you here in the scene. And you created a bunch of those and it copied them. And then you also created a town. Um, if you see this purple stuff here, it should disappear when you scroll up to it. We're missing something called a shader. It needs to be set. It needs to be set to the system that we're using, which is a standard system. And I think this might be set up to something called the Universal Render Pipeline, which is a little bit different. But if you see those purple shader things in there, jump on a call with me, and I'll show you how to get those looking correct. So you organized. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen right now?
I thought I was.
Oh,
Can you see it?
I'm not seeing it right now.
Oh, you know what? I didn't click the share button. now you,
Oh, great. Perfect.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what I was talking about is outside the four walls, you have your cabins. Inside the four walls, you have your little town. If you see this purple stuff, this purple shader, sometimes you'll see them when you're far away. Don't worry about it. Today we're going to play the game, and that will those will go away, hopefully. If not, then you'll need to check in with me. But notice that my guardhouse is floating in the air, so we'll bring that down. That's not the right guardhouse. What is that? That's the. Oh, I have two of them. That's why I have two guardhouses. Okay, that one is floating in the air, so I thought I'd. Okay, today you're going to get a chance to walk around, and then you'll see if there's any mistakes, like things are floating or I keep grabbing the wrong guardhouse. It's this one. You'll be able to see if things are floating or not, and then you can adjust them accordingly. Okay, so that one was kind of floating. All right. So the object for today then is to finish up the game. We are going to load something called a third-person controller, so you can walk around your game. You can go in the buildings, make sure they're assembled correctly. If you see any gaps between the walls or if the building is floating, you can stop the game and then go back to the editor and position those correctly. We're going to add the music that you've created in your other assignment. and then we are going to publish the game. Actually, before publishing it, what I recommend that you do is take some screenshots of your game. You can go ahead and play the game and then find something that's kind of like interesting view of your game, maybe it's showing your buildings, and take a screenshot. I'll show you how to do that. And then maybe take 4 or 5 screenshots, and that's what you'll post in the assignment to show that you're done with the game. Then you'll publish the game, and then the game will be able to be played. You'll hear the music, you'll be able to walk around and jump around with your character, and you don't need Unity anymore to watch it. You can share it with your friends. You can actually create a Mac version if you're on a PC, or a PC version if you're on a Mac, either way, so that people can play it. And playing it will just involve moving around and going around the scene. Now, if you put your player inside the wall, then you won't be able to get outside the wall. So you may want to make a gap in there if you want to get your player out and walk around. All right, so it will look like this. Let me play the game. So to play the game, you click on the little play button here. To stop it, you'll click on the play button again. It's kind of an awkward little interface, but it works once you get used to it. So I'm going to play the game. It's going to show up in a different tab up here. Notice there's a game tab. Okay, it'll kind of compile everything together. And then once you've got everything working, this is your third-person controller. There's the music that I've added. I'll show you how to do that. And then you can use a WASD key to move around. You can hold the Shift key and he'll run, and you can see that my building is floating. If you press the space bar, you can jump. I don't think I can get into that building. Get a run and start. I'm holding down the W. It's too high. So what I'll do is I'll stop the game by clicking on the plus button. You can hear my music. And it was, I forgot which one it was now. I think it was this one. Close my barns. Go to my brick houses. It's one of these. By the way, if you press the F key, it'll zoom into that particular prefab. So it's this one that I want. And I'm not sure why it's not selecting it here, but I have it over here in the hierarchy, and I can click on each of these, and must be brick house, this one. Okay, so I can lower that down. Oops. There we go. So now I can go into that building. Let's play the game again. And what you'll want to do is walk around and then go into the buildings to make sure that they look okay. Okay, I'm just moving my mouse and holding down the Shift and the W key. And then notice that I can go in now. I can jump in and go in the should be able to. That's weird. Let's try to go into this other room. Be able to go into the building. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try lowering. I'm going to press the escape key and then press the play button again. And I'm going to try lowering my. I'm not quite sure why that's not going into the building, but I'm going to lower it. And let's see if that will work, and then play it. So this is what you want to do. I'll show you how to get this player, this third-person controller in there. I'll show you how to get the sound in, and we should be able to go into these buildings. Oh, I know why. Oh, I know why. Because the third-person controller is too big. It doesn't fit through the door. Okay. There's a collider. There's a collider around that third-person controller that prevents him from colliding and going in. I'll show you how to make that controller smaller, so it will fit in. It will fit in the door. It wasn't that I couldn't jump. It does jump. It just he was too big to fit through the door. I made him too big. So I'll show you where that is. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is find some music or get your music in an MP3 format. You can use other music too if you like, but it'd be nice to have your music in the game. And then find out where your music is. Okay, so here's my music. And I'm going to drag it right into my assets. So I've already done one, but let me do another one. Okay, here's another one. I just drop it in there. If you have more than one, you might want to make a folder down there for it. Now, when you drag it in, make sure that you see this little waveform and then click on it. And then over here in the inspector, you should see a play button and it should play. If it doesn't play, it's not going to work in your game. Okay, so you could hear that. So if you hear it there, it's going to be fine. All right. So now what you do is you go over here and you create an empty, like I did right here. Okay. Create an empty, right click, create an empty, and then label it sound object. Okay. In fact, let me delete this sound object. What this composed, this sound object has something called an audio source in it, and then I dragged the audio into that audio source. Let me delete it and start and do it again so you can see it from the beginning. Okay, so oops, you want to click on the whole icon and not just the name. Okay, I'm going to right click, create an empty, call it sound object. Okay, click on the sound object and then go over here and add a component to that sound object. It's an audio component, and the name of the audio component is audio source. Okay, and then once you add an audio source, there'll be an audio clip that says none. Take your audio that you want and drag it in there. Okay, and then play your game. Oh, by the way, this should say play on awake. Okay. You can do things called a 2D or 3D sound. You can actually attach sound objects to objects in your game and then use a 3D sound, and that will then only play when you're a certain distance from that object. Okay, because this is in my hierarchy here, it'll play everywhere. So when you choose play on awake, it'll just start playing. So for example, you could add a sound object to this, to an object in here, like let's say a bird, and place it in there, and then just do play on awake, but then do a 3D sound, and then have it not play the sound until you're like 50 feet from the object. So that's kind of fun. You can try that too if you want. You can add an object to an object here, right? Add a sound to it, and then click on 3D down here, 3D settings, and oh, sorry, that was reverb. 3D settings, and then over here, take this from 2D to 3D, and then you can set to see, how far away will this sound play when I'm, related to the object. So if you put 1 there, it'll only play when you're 1 meter from the object. Notice if I play this, go ahead and play it, we should hear the sound, and you shouldn't get any errors. I'm hearing it. Okay, easy peasy. You can add as much music as you want to your object. Stop this now. Just go ahead and add a sound object and then add an audio source to that object. So let's talk about the controller now. Let's go and get the controller. So what I want you to do is browse to the asset store. Let's go to the Unity Asset Store. So I'm just typing into Google Unity Asset Store, and there it is. Okay, be sure that you're logged in with your name. Notice that this says JG up there. Go ahead and sign out if it's not JG, if it's not your account. If it's just unlogged in, go ahead and log in with your account that you set up, and then go to 3D. Okay, and then do a search for third person controllers, right there, third person controller. Okay. Let's filter out. There's a bunch of them. Let's filter out by price. This is a free one. So click on free. And here are all the free controllers. And the one that I want you to get is this one right here, Invector third person controller. Okay. What you'll do is you'll click on it, and because I've already added this, so you can't see it, but let's say that you click on it and you haven't added it yet. It'll take you to the asset store page for that asset. Click add to my assets. Okay, add to my assets. It may give you also an option to open in Unity. I tried that this morning. It wasn't really working. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go to price, free. I want to do this one. And it opens the page, and there'll be an option for adding it, opening it in Unity. That didn't work for me. So it may not work. If it works for you, great. Then what you'll do is that'll open up Package Manager, and you just download it and then import it. Okay, so once you've added this asset, starter assets, third person, Invecta. Let's make sure you get the right one. I tried it with several. This is the easiest one. There's only a couple settings that you need to do, but it's this one. Invector, third person controller, basic locomotion free. All right, now once you've added that to your library, you're going to go back to Unity and go to let me move my Canvas stuff out of the way here. You're going to go back to the library and, go to your Unity project, go to Window, Asset, Package Manager, right in the middle. Okay. And make sure this says My Assets here, because you just added this to your assets, and then do a search for third person, and you'll see it. Third person. Okay, third person controller, basic locomotion. Looks like this one. Select it, 2.0, and you'll basically download it, because I've already downloaded it. You click on download, wait for it to finish download, and then import it. Sometimes there'll be a second import box with a bunch of green buttons that you need to click on, but go ahead and import it. And then once you've imported it, if you go back to your assets window, okay. By the way, there's a controller down here for setting the size of these things. Sometimes they're hard to read. So what a lot of people do is they'll go all the way to the left, and then you can see everything here by name. So I'm going to go to Invector, open that up, prefabs, okay, prefabs, and you want to download both of these things, drag both of them onto your game. Drag them onto the game where you want your game to start, right? So if you drag this third person controller out here, you won't be able to get into over this wall. He jumps, but he can't jump over that wall. You'll need to make a gap in the wall if you want to check out your terrain outside the wall, which I recommend that you do. Just go ahead and make a gap in it so you can get through, right? And drag it on here, okay? And once it's on here, you'll click on it. Let's see, it's going to be, once you drag it here, it'll show up over here in your hierarchy. Let me close my town down so you can see it. There it is, third person controller. All right. And again, press the F key and you can see him. Now that's called a T-pose. Before you play the game, he's just waiting for you. But once you play it, he'll actually get in the right position. Now what I did is I set the scale. The scale started out at 1, 1, and 1. And I thought that was a little bit too small relative to the building. But try it. What happened was it was too big and it wouldn't fit through the building. So actually let me play this and let's make sure it gets through the building this time. I thought 1 was a little bit too small, but maybe it's better because then it will fit. Okay, so I'm just moving my mouse around. There's my audio. I'm hitting the W key, holding the Shift key, and now I should be able to go right in that building. Yep, and I can go out. So what I would do is go through and make sure that your buildings are constructed correctly. You walk in, and you can see how you built stuff. Let's go over here. I think I might need to jump in this one. Yeah, see, once I jumped, I can jump in there. Okay. So I think actually, one looks about right, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, so it won't work yet. By the way, to stop the game, I'm pressing the escape key and then I'm pressing the play again. That's kind of tricky. All right, now it won't work until you put in the camera, right? There's a camera that you'll notice there's a camera that follows him around. So the camera is this one. Drag the camera out and put it behind your third person controller. And notice you can see it little, you can adjust it once you play, you can adjust it. Right? By adjusting, I'm moving around, but notice the camera stays the same distance behind the player. So probably you want to go a little bit further back. Right? But drag it out there. And there's one more setting that you need to do. So when you drag the camera out, okay, look over here in the third person controller, right? A little bit confusing, but what you need to do is you need to attach the player to this camera so that they're connected and they follow each other. And there's a setting in here where to do that, right? You would never find this unless I told you. But down here under the third person camera light in vector, right? By where it says camera, there's a target. And all I did is I dragged the third person controller onto that target right there, right? And it worked. So let me delete both and I'll start over again so you can see how I do it. Okay, so I deleted both of them. I'm going to go in here and let's say I want my player to start here, right? And I'm going to drag the camera out here behind him like that. And I can adjust this. Notice that I can see over here. Sometimes what people will do is they'll put the game window over here so they can see really well what's going on. Okay, so there's my camera is too far from the player, the third person controller. So just let's move it up a little bit and over. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now what I do is I go down here to the target. Notice it says none. I'm clicking on the camera. Take your third person controller, drag it right in there, not in script, but in sorry, not in script, but down here below where it says target. Okay. Oh, I need to click on the camera. Click on the camera. Right here where it says target, drag this to there. And notice that it says third person controller and then play the game immediately to make sure it's working. If you have any trouble with any of this, just meet me online. If you can't make my office hours at 11, at noon, just email me. That's all I'm doing. I'm jumping. Yeah, I think one is too small. I think one is too small. It's a little bit too small. See the difference? I don't know. Whatever you like. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I can do that by going to the third person controller. Here in the X scale, let's make it 1.3, 1.3, and 1.3. You may need to adjust the camera after you do this too. Okay, and then play it, and let's have a look at this. Through the door. Yeah, that's pretty good. 3, and it fits 4. Okay. Yeah. Now what you'll do is you'll just walk around, look at your tree, bushes in your grass. Look at the work you did. Notice that there's a wall there, so there's no way I'll be able to do it. I can go underneath them, I can go on top of them. One more thing I want you for the project.
You're cutting out.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah, sorry, your voice is.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
So let me turn down the, I think that here in my sound object, there's a volume. Yeah, right here. Notice that the volume is right there. Let's turn that down just for the sake of doing the recording. So what I'd like you to do is take pictures, and you can take pictures while you're playing the game. Now, there's the music, it's really low. And the way you do it is you go to the, if you're on a Mac, you hit Control-Alt-4, and it'll give you a crosshair, and just snap a photo, right? Maybe find an interesting part of your game, maybe inside a building, or to show off your work. On the Windows machines, you can use the snipping tool, or do a search for snipping tool. It looks like this. I've already done a picture, right? So you're just going to come in here. Now, when you play the game, go over here to your game scene, and you want to do full screen. And where it says display, oh no, it says game. Where is that? It's full screen mode. Now I've forgotten where that is. It's over here. Now I've forgotten where that is. Is it here? Oh no, I forgot where it is. Frame debugger, I don't want that. Local scene, full HD. Oh, I forgot where that was. Scene, game simulator, play focused, play maximized, right there. Let's see if this plays maximized. There we go. All right, so there's much better. You guys can see that much better. So what you'll do is you'll come over here to your snipping tool and click on new. Okay. And then notice the screen goes gray, and you just kind of snap a photo like this, and then it'll appear here in the snipping tool and save it. And so do a bunch of them and then submit that to the project, to the assignment, and then I know you finished it, right? I know you have your controller, you have your bushes, your trees, all that stuff. So do 5 or 6 of them, but remember to go full screen. Okay. I'm going to hit the escape key and then press the play button again, and that was over here in your game scene. It was game. Oop, I forgot where it was now. Full HD. Where was that? So push play, and it's full screen. Well, it's in the recording, so you guys got it. I always forget where it is. Okay, so there was one last thing that I want you to do, and then you're done, completely done. Is let's publish it so that you can play it without Unity. You can play it anywhere, and you can also make a Mac version if you have friends that you'd like to show this to, or your portfolio or something. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over here to File, Build Settings. Okay, Build Settings. So this is usually a little more complicated, but for us, it's going to be very simple. Most of my students have multiple scenes. They'll have an opening scene and a win scene, a losing scene. So you're going to just do all your scenes. Right now you have scenes in build, right? And basically you can choose a Windows, Mac, or Linux. Okay. This target platform is going to be Windows, but I can also choose not letting me do Mac. Maybe this has changed. All right, well, you're going to click on open scenes, right? Add open scenes. If you do it when this scene is open, this name of the scene was called build terrain. So if you just kind of click on add open scenes, it'll add the open scene on there. And then all you do is just choose your target platform and Intel 64-bit. I don't know why it's not letting me do a Mac. Maybe because I have to do, well, it will do Mac, Windows, and Linux, but I'm going to go ahead and choose build and run, okay? Choose build and run. It will make a build for you, right? And you can then click on it, double click on it, and it will run without Unity. All right, so you're going to click on build. Go ahead and save it somewhere, right? I would save it in your, not in the starter file, but in the MMST. And I would just put James game here, like so. Okay. It's going to be in the MMST 111 folder. I'm going to select that folder. Oh, I see. It's asking me for my folder name. Let's just do MMST 111, select folder. And obviously, I need to save the changes that I just made. And it's building it. I forgot what the name will be. Let's cancel this. And I think there's a place where you can make it, you can change the name, because I think the name will be build terrain. Oh, it's player settings here. Okay, so click on player settings. Let me show you where that is. Click on player settings down here, right? You can see, by the way, you can create stuff for Android, Apple phone, PS4, and so on, but we'll just do PC or Mac. So go to player settings. You can put your company if you want. You can put the name of the product, the name of the file, right? You can even put an icon if you want to make your game with a different icon than the default one. But go ahead and put your name here in the name of your game, right? So this will be default company. So we'll just call this MMST 111 starter file. Okay, close this, and let's go ahead and build it. Choose 111 from my folder, and let's let that build. Might take a while. If you do run into any problems with the build, it's not a huge big deal, because you're going to take pictures of your game when it's playing to show me that you finished it. But it would be nice to have a finished game that you can actually run on any other computer without Unity. Should be pretty straightforward. You don't have a lot of stuff in this game. You've got flooded grounds, and you've got some audio, and you've got the assets that I installed for you, but that's not that big. So hopefully this won't take too long. It's not letting me do anything else while it's building this game. I was going to pause the recording, but I can't get. Okay, it looks like it finished. I can also do build and run, so it would actually run the game when I'm done. Okay, so let's go over here to my MMST folder. Come on, let me show you what this looks like. So it's going to be here in the MMST folder. There's your starter file. I should have changed the name of this guy, shouldn't I have? Now I don't remember where it is. I should have changed that name to game. finished game. Actually, what we usually do is we call it a gold file, a gold version. I'm going to do that again. Let's do it again, and I'll rename it something better. So I'm going to go to build settings, player settings. Product name is James Gang Gold. That way I'll know it's the right one. Okay. I'll call this Gonzo Media is the publisher. And I will close this. And let's save it this time to I'm going to save it now to my documents, to my downloads folder. That'll make it much easier to see, to find it. And let's select folder. Okay. It's going to give you, if you're on a Mac, it'll give you one file. You just double click on it and it runs. If you're on a PC, it gives you a folder. And I just wanted to show you, and there's a bunch of files in there. I wanted to show you which file to click on to play your game. All right, so that one worked better. Okay, so here's my downloads folder. Okay, there's my James Gold game here. Okay, so you're going to need all this information. You're going to need all of this stuff: the data, the edge, the do not ship. But you want to play the game, you're going to click on this exe file. So what you probably want to do is save this in a folder, call it your game folder. And then when you play the game, when you move the game over to another computer, just move this entire folder because you'll need all this data. The Mac is easier, it just gives you one file and everything's included in it. On the Windows side, you have to have all these files. Notice there's a bunch of them in here, some data files, plugins, all kinds of stuff that it needs. So go back to your downloads folder, click on James Gold, Game Gold EXE. Okay, that's what I named it. Double click on it, and now it should run the game without Unity. It may look a little different too. So it says made with Unity. Starts off where your camera was. I can hear the music, it's really low, and everything's working. Looks like my church is also floating. So that's why you're going to create a game, because you can see if stuff is not on the ground, like that's not on the ground. Okay. And now I didn't have you create a quit game button. Normally you would, but that's okay. So to quit your game, you're just going to do Control-Alt-Delete, right? Go to the tab, and that'll take you to the task manager. Not a very elegant way to do this, but just close it this way, right? And you'll go to James Gang game and end task. Okay, not very elegant. Normally we'd have a quit button on there, but I didn't want to take the time to show you. So that's what you'll do is you want to click on the exe file, go ahead and change the name, save it to a different location so you don't get confused like me, you're not sure where it is. Okay, that's it. That's what you'll do. You'll just turn in your pictures. The game file will be a little bit too complicated to submit it. You can if you want, and then I can play your game, but it's not needed. Just give me the pictures that you created, and that'll be good enough. Any questions? Nice short. What we will do, go ahead, share.
Oh, no. You go ahead. I'll ask.
So what I was going to say is that next week we'll be done with the game. We're going to go back to the website, and we can also create a video of the game, and we can put a video of the game up on your website. For now, we're just going to put the pictures up on your website, and then we'll finish up the semester by finishing up all the pages in your website. I'll give you some more website skills and layout skills and design skills. And there may be one more little unit on AI that I might sneak in here because I think we're a week ahead. But go ahead and take as much time as you need on the game. I know it's time consuming. You can add as much as you want. You can continue to add assets. There's also assets in the asset store that you could basically find and add to your game. Cars, dinosaurs, monsters, all kinds of stuff if you wanted to add them to your game. There's also some additional stuff in Flooded Grounds that I didn't show you that you might want to just as fun. So go back to your assets here and then go to Flooded Grounds and prefabs. And then notice that there's trees, rocks, grass, bushes. That's where some of the background, some of the stuff you got. I think props. Yeah, here we go. So there's a bunch of props if you wanted to add these props, like there's cars. These are really popular. Old cars, rocking chairs. You could add to your buildings, benches, beds, just all kinds of stuff. Cabinets. There's a piano in here. There's actually a brick staircase. So there's, if you wanted to have some fun laying this stuff out, by all means, go ahead and do that. There's vases and stuff. Okay, so have fun, and I'll stop the recording, and then we can answer any questions. Stop sharing.